What if I told you that 4 fruits you are probably eating right now, fruits you buy every single week thinking they are healthy choices, are actively working against your testosterone, your energy, your mood, and your vitality in ways that most men over 50 have never once been warned about? And what if the 4 fruits that can begin reversing that damage are just as easy to find at any grocery store, cost almost nothing, and most men have been avoiding them for completely the wrong reasons? My name is Dr. Nerita, a board-certified physician with 12 years of experience, helping men over 50 reclaim their hormonal health and their vitality. Today, I am revealing 4 fruits that actively support testosterone production in men over 50 and 4, that silently destroy it. Stay until the very end, because the fruit I reveal last in the destroy category is one that almost every man over 50 eats daily, believing it is one of the healthiest choices he can make. Subscribe right now and drop your city in the comments. I read every single one. Before we get into the 4 fruits, I want you to understand something that most health content never explains properly. Testosterone does not just control your drive. It controls your energy levels, your muscle mass, your mood, your mental sharpness, your bone density, your sleep quality, and your ability to recover from physical activity. When testosterone declines, which it does naturally after 50 at a rate of roughly 1 to 2% per year, every one of those systems begins to feel the impact simultaneously. Men experience this as a general flattening, less energy, less motivation, more body fat despite similar eating habits, slower recovery, a mood that sits slightly lower than it used to without a clear reason. And here is what most men never hear. The food you eat either supports the environment your body needs to produce testosterone or actively disrupts it. Your gut, your liver, and your adrenal system are all directly involved in testosterone metabolism. And the fruits you consume daily are either feeding those systems or working against them. So let us find out exactly which side of that equation your current fruit choices are on. Fruit number 1 that supercharges testosterone: pomegranate. I want to tell you about a patient I will call David, 58 years old, a former competitive cyclist who came to me with energy levels that had declined so significantly over 3 years that he had stopped cycling entirely. His testosterone was in the lower range for his age. His mood was flat. His recovery after any physical exertion was slow and discouraging. He had tried testosterone supplements without meaningful results and was frustrated and resigned. I told David to begin drinking a small glass of pure pomegranate juice every morning. He was skeptical in the way most men are skeptical when I recommend something that sounds too simple. He tried it anyway. 8 weeks later, he came back, and something had visibly shifted. His energy during our appointment was different, more present, more engaged. His follow-up blood work showed a meaningful improvement in his testosterone levels and a reduction in cortisol, the stress hormone that directly suppresses testosterone production when chronically elevated. Here is the biology. Pomegranate contains exceptionally high concentrations of punicolagens and punicic acid, antioxidant compounds that reduce oxidative stress in the Leydig cells of the testes, the cells directly responsible for producing testosterone. Oxidative stress in these cells is one of the primary mechanisms through which testosterone production declines with age. By reducing that oxidative stress, pomegranate creates a more favorable cellular environment for testosterone synthesis. Clinical research has shown measurable increases in testosterone levels and reductions in cortisol in men who consume pomegranate juice consistently over several weeks. 1 small glass of pure pomegranate juice daily. No added sugar, no concentrate. Start tomorrow morning and give it 6 weeks before you assess the result. Before I continue, drop your city in the comments right now. I am Dr. Nerita, and I genuinely read every single one. Fruit number 2 that supercharges testosterone: avocado. A patient named Marcus came to me at 62 with a specific hormonal pattern I see consistently in men his age. His total testosterone was borderline, But his free testosterone, the form his body could actually use, was significantly low. The reason was a protein in his blood called sex hormone binding globulin, or SHBG, which was binding his testosterone and rendering it biologically inactive. This is one of the most underdiagnosed hormonal problems in men, over 50 and 1, that most standard testosterone tests miss entirely, because they measure total testosterone without measuring how much is actually available for the body to use. Avocado is exceptionally rich in monounsaturated fats and boron, a mineral that clinical research has shown to reduce SHBG levels in men, freeing up bound testosterone and making it biologically available. Marcus began eating half an avocado daily with his breakfast. At his 3-month review, his free testosterone had improved meaningfully without any medication change. He told me he felt like the lights had come back on. Half an avocado daily. That is the complete instruction. The monounsaturated fat also supports the production of steroid hormones, including testosterone at the cellular level, making avocado one of the most directly testosterone-supportive foods available to men over 50. Fruit number 3 that supercharges testosterone: blueberries. I had a patient named Gerald, 65 years old, with chronically elevated inflammation markers in his blood work and testosterone that had been declining steadily for 4 years. Inflammation and testosterone exist in a direct inverse relationship in the male body. When systemic inflammation rises, testosterone production falls. This is not a coincidence. It is biology. The inflammatory cytokines that circulate during chronic low-grade inflammation directly suppress the hormonal signaling between the brain and the testes that governs testosterone production. Blueberries contain some of the highest concentrations of resveratrol and anthocyanins of any food available, compounds that reduce systemic inflammation at the cellular level, and that have been shown in clinical research to reduce the activity of aromatase, the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen in men. When aromatase activity is high, as it tends to be in men over 50 with higher body fat, testosterone converts to estrogen faster than the body can produce it. Blueberries slow that conversion, preserving the testosterone your body produces, rather than allowing it to be lost to aromatase activity. 1 cup of fresh or frozen blueberries daily. Gerald's inflammation markers dropped measurably over 12 weeks, and his testosterone stabilized for the first time in 4 years. He told me he had been avoiding blueberries because he thought the sugar content made them unhealthy. That misunderstanding had been costing him for years. Fruit number 4 that supercharges testosterone: bananas. Most men over 50 have been told to limit bananas because of their carbohydrate content. This is one of the most counterproductive pieces of nutritional advice I encounter regularly in my clinic. Bananas contain bromelain, an enzyme with a direct and well-documented effect on testosterone levels in men. They are also one of the richest food sources of vitamin B6 and potassium, both of which play critical roles in reducing exercise fatigue and supporting the adrenal system that governs cortisol regulation. Lower cortisol means higher testosterone. 1 ripe banana daily, eaten before any physical activity, supports the hormonal environment that testosterone requires to remain stable. And now the 4 fruits that are silently destroying testosterone in men over 50. Fruit number 1 that destroys testosterone: commercially produced fruit juice, not whole fruit. Juice. When fruit is juiced and the fiber is removed, the sugar content becomes biologically identical to a soft drink. The rapid blood sugar spike triggers an insulin surge, and elevated insulin directly suppresses testosterone production through its effect on SHBG and its disruption of the hypothalamic pituitary axis that governs hormonal signaling. Men who drink 2 or 3 glasses of commercial fruit juice daily are repeatedly spiking insulin in a pattern that chronically suppresses their testosterone without ever connecting the two. Replace all juice with whole fruit immediately. Fruit number 2 that destroys testosterone: canned fruit in syrup. The combination of high fructose syrup and the BPA lining of most cans creates a double hormonal disruption. Fructose in high concentrations reduces testosterone producing cell activity in the testes, and BPA is a well documented endocrine disruptor that mimics estrogen in the male body. Men who eat canned fruit regularly are consuming both a testosterone suppressant and an estrogenic compound simultaneously. Fresh or frozen fruit only. Fruit number 3 that destroys testosterone. Dried fruit eaten in large quantities. Drying concentrates the sugar content of fruit dramatically. A small handful of dried apricots or raisins can contain the sugar equivalent of 4 or 5 whole fruits consumed in seconds. The resulting blood sugar and insulin spike carries the same testosterone suppressing effect as commercial juice. Small amounts occasionally are not the issue. Daily large quantities of dried fruit as a snack habit are. Fruit number 4 that destroys testosterone, and this is the one I promised you at the start: a grapefruit.